Hey everybody, it's DJ. Just want to talk a little bit about STEM and where and how I think it could fit within the social studies classroom. I think that by introducing STEM and using STEM tools would really help the students to visually experience and become immersed in the topic upon which we're talking about. A lot of my ideas were derived or came from the TED Talk talking about BioDive or the BioDive experience. So basically, it's a program created by Jessica Hendricks where seventh grade students, she spoke specifically about seventh grade, are basically immersed in this technology where they become biologists. And they're diving down the ocean, they're doing digital journals, and so on and so forth, experiments. Everything is virtually, and they're just completely immersed in that. And I tried to figure out how I could adapt this idea to a history setting because this was very, very engaging for me just as an adult watching. And I really thought that the students could benefit as well. So playing off of this in our Marion Island experience, I thought that I saw a lot of things in our Tuesday night discussion and roaming around that directly related to my subject or content area. So, the one problem that my students tend to struggle with the most is when we talk about the Aztecs, the Incans, and the Mayans. So, the three ancient advanced civilizations. Um, Getting the students engaged in the activities and something that happened thousands of years ago uh, and hundreds of years ago, based on which one you're talking about, is not very motivating to them. So adapting this biodive idea, um, they could create. I could create a virtual world where the students would be able to dig for artifacts, view primary sources from the time period. They would write in a digital journal, and they could take VR field trips to see the ruins of, the pyramids that I'm talking about, or the bridges, or the specific topics that I'm talking about. So let's dive into this a little bit more. Digging for viewing for artifacts. So in the virtual world, they could be traveling around and there would be individual stops. And embedded in the world could be things like virtual museums where they can see the original artifacts that we're talking about. So if I'm talking about the game that the Aztecs played for human sacrifice, they could see the original artifacts that are directly linked to that game, making history come alive. And that's going to be really the theme of this activity. It's just making history become alive through the STEM uh, programs, in a sense. Daily digital notebook. Again, they can discuss what they saw, why they think the Aztecs, Incas, or the Mayans had to develop these advancements, and basically just a individual student reflection on their day's activities in the virtual world. And lastly, would be the embedded field trip. So again, you're a seventh grade student, you're traveling around this virtual world. There's a button that you can click next to the pyramids where you can see the actual pyramids. So personalizing the experiences for them. Here's just a little example of one. So as you see, like I can control this. You as the user control the screen. You're looking at, where human sacrifices were or where they worship the sun god and so on and so forth. And you're actually there. So using this is much better than me just telling them or showing them pictures of the pyramid. It allows them, the user, to work with the interface and see as if they were there. And the benefits of this, instead of reading, watching videos, I can teach about anything. I tend not to be a direct instruction approach. I want to immerse the students in what I'm teaching them. And by doing this, they would be able to experience. It's bringing history alive within the world. Maybe they're living in Albany, New York, or maybe they're living in Cortland, New York, Syracuse, New York. Maybe they're living in Santa Monica, California. But either way, by experiencing this, they are all just temporarily in that world. And they are in Mexico or they are in Mesoamerica. And they are there with the Aztecs, the Incas, and Mayas. And they are fully experiencing it. And that's really the goal of this.